Hello. I'm sitting here waiting to go into court, and this is just a court hearing on the ex parte with my ex that she used to usurp my son. I guess is the correct word. I don't know, but that word's been in my head lately, and I just been wanting to use it. But there's no validity to it. In fact, it's just more or less her projecting her abusive behavior toward me, and I've been here several times over it, but still every time I come here, all they do is continue it, but it gives me this feeling of anxiety and dread every time I have to come here. And there's nothing really to be worried about. I mean, either they're going to keep the ex parte or they're not. But I think it's just the feeling of just having to be around the woman and still being under her control, I guess it is. Even though I realize that she has no control over me. And I'm the only one letting this stuff bother me. And I've also I just needed to say that real quick to get it out. But I've also wanted to talk about the custody of my son. Well, our son. We went the other day and they were waiting on a counselor to give her report on the situation between me and my son because he's supposed to be terrified of me. And every visit he had, he was terrified of everything I was doing. And I'm sure y'all know how this goes and how it all plays out without me even saying much more about it. But they postponed it, and the day we were supposed to meet with the counselor, she didn't show up. And the counselor actually had to call her, and she gave this big old long excuse, and I might have even made a video about this already, but anyway, she gave this big old long excuse, and while I was sitting there listening to this, because she had her on speakerphone, I could just put myself in that place of being beside her and hearing her talk to other people like that when I was in that position of being in that relationship with her. And you can just know all the lies and all the bullshit that she's saying, or whoever you're with. And it was just almost comical, because it is, it's a joke. But what I decided was not to give up on my son. And this is what I told my counselor, and this is what I told my son with the counselor present. And me and her had previously talked about this. I'm not giving up on my son, but the way I'm trying to help him by exposing who she is and what we went through is backfiring on me. Every step that I've took at trying to enlighten everyone as to her realness, who she really is, has exploded back toward me. And it's only had my son be put in a further situation of abuse, and I've enabled that abuse by perpetuating the situation. And what I mean, for example, is when he has to come for visits, he doesn't get to come. And for her to say, "You're not going," would be her breaking the court order. So what she has him do is come and say he's not going. And by doing that, she's still bringing him to it, and he's just choosing not to go. But he comes up and he's bawling, and he won't say anything, but "I'm not going." I've tried talking to him. His sisters have tried talking to him. We've done it several times. And, I don't want to put my son in the spot where he's being torn like that and being pushed like that and have the extra pressure put on him. It's not good. So I'm having to just back off. It's the hardest thing I've had to do. Whenever we were talking to him, I cried, I bawled, because I know what he's going to endure, and especially after, like I said, I guarantee you, anybody that's had any encounters with a narc like this, you can pretty well guess what's coming. Is whenever she's not able to project that energy and negativity and hatred and self-loathing that she has towards someone else, which right now is me, whenever I remove myself from that situation, that imbalances it. And look where all that's going to go. That's going to go back inward toward the people that are close to her. And I hate to put my son through that, but that's the only way he's going to see that it's the way it really is. Because he knows how it was when we were there. Everyone that was in the house knows how it was. And that's, the counselor agreed. I mean, she kept telling him, you're going to, because he's like 11, or he's soon to be 11. She's like, you're going to have to start thinking. You're a smart kid, and you have a good heart, but you have to stop believing everything everybody's telling you right now, especially, he didn't say your mom, or she didn't say your mom, but she said the people around you. She said, start using, your brain and your heart and figuring this out, because only you can. And that's what he's going to have to do. And I mean, the only way he can do that is if he's left to it, And I left an open invitation with him to, if he needs me, I'm here. If he has my number. It's always been the same. His sisters are around. He can reach out to school counselors, priests, whoever he needs to. But he's got to start recognizing that right now she's just doing her good shit to him and buying him off, and she's doing whatever she can to make him happy, because, that's what she does. I mean, she's a manipulator. She's cut him off from everyone around him except for her and the people she chooses to, have in that area, her little bubble. But, I mean, that's pretty much where I'm at, and that's what I'm going to have to do. And it is hard, but at the same time, it's what I knew I had to do from the beginning, and I just struggled with it so harshly, because it goes against every fiber of my being to just leave my son in a harmful situation. But by struggling against it, I'm making it a more hostile situation for longer. And he has the ability to say, and he has the ability to leave at any time. But I don't have the ability to help him right now other than this, because I've done everything else. And if anyone else is out there watching this, and you're going through anything similar to this, I know it's counterintuitive, I know it hurts, but at least entertain the idea, the possibility that you may have to just walk away and leave it to work itself out. I mean, because you will encounter a force that pushes back, and it's really odd. And I think it's the way the system is made and set up, especially if you're a male. I mean, you already got the deck stacked against you, and the more you try to tell people this woman was doing this, the more insane you look. They don't want to hear that. They just want to hear you go, yeah, I'm sorry, and I'll do better. And, they want you to cave in. They want their jobs to be easy. But, I don't know. I mean, I've got 2 years probation now because lawyers screwed up, and prosecuting attorneys, they love technicalities, so, I mean, that's where I'm at with this. But that's why I can't keep going, because I know eventually she'll pull out the he molested my kid card. And for guys, that's a real serious thing, because that can ruin your whole life. And I mean, she's getting by with, saying that I abused her and her kids and my kids, and there is never anything like that happened. It never happened. And it's just going on her word. So, I mean, what chance do I have? I mean, I'm not only trying to protect my son, but I've got to protect myself as well, because I am honestly still healing up, and I have 2 daughters I have to watch out for, and, they're almost adults now, so I need to be there for them. But I just wanted to give that little update, and I'm open to any comments you have. And again, I thank everybody for subscribing, and everyone that likes these videos or don't like them, and, subscribe and share. I know that's how we're going to get it out there, but I would appreciate, you spreading it. Like I said, I have no ads on here. I'm not making a dime off this. I'm genuinely trying to help people. And I've really appreciated the people who have contacted me and talked with me and shared their stories. I'm always looking to hear more stories, because like I said, there's several things that I want to do and I'm working on, you know, and it just helps to hear, you know, from other people. But all right, thank y'all. God bless.